The United States, namely the National Security Advisor Robert, I don't remember his last name, he stated that the United States is ready to deploy international peacekeepers with Scandinavian components, but Nikol Pashinyan said no. Well, what did you expect? But they didn't enter. What do you mean? The sides need to give their consent. Armenia says only the Russians. Excuse me, 1 minute. You are presenting it the wrong way. The Minsk group could have done it. No! The Minsk group serves as a mediating country. If one of the sides is against the entry of troops into the particular country, those troops can't be brought into the country. Nikol Pashinyan said no, only Russian peacekeeping troops. And that was it. The subject was closed. Was he forced to say that? Of course, no. Well, it doesn't matter if he was forced to or not. Nikol shouldn't have said no. He shouldn't have said no. His life was not more precious than the lives of the 5,000 boys who died. What were the Russians going to do? Were they going to hang him? Were they going to dismiss him from office? Who cares about the office? They would attack again. Fine, let them attack again. But in that case, there would have been other peacekeepers. There are Russian peacekeepers now. But aren't there attacks? When they gave the villages like Parukh, aren't they attacking? Wasn't it in the presence of the Russians that 4,500 square kilometers of territory were invaded? Isn't it in the presence of the Russians that Aghabno and the Lachin corridor will be seized in the future? This brings us back to the following. The whole problem is the illusion of security. You all, particularly most Armenians, have infused themselves with the idea that the Russians are allegedly granting us security, and the Russians are slowly selling the country by giving us the bait. This will be the case so long as the Armenian people still haven't understood that the Russians are in solidarity with the Turks, just like in 1915 when they led us Armenians to be massacred. The Russian troops stood at the top of the fields in Mush and came down after 100,000 Armenians were massacred. The Russian troops entered Van, disarmed the Armenians, retreated and permitted their massacre. Which troops entered, massacred and disarmed the Armenians during Operation Koltso or Operation Ring in northern Artsakh? Which country did Armenia transfer $100 million to in order to purchase anti-missile systems during the war, and which country sent 5 Buk anti-missile systems, 4 of which didn't function? Russia did. Consequently, the issue is very clear. You are talking about the risks. 1 minute, let me finish. You are talking about the risks. The risks are clear. You have the following situation. Let's compare it in terms of medicine. You have a patient who is dying. He is definitely dying. There is no alternative. You try to cure him with medicinal treatment and other treatments, but nothing worked. You have one opportunity, and that is surgery. Is the surgery risky? Yes, it is risky. Is there a chance to save the patient? Yes, there is. Now, as relatives, you need to think about the following. Do you agree and undertake the surgery which is risky, but there is a chance to save the patient? Or do you refuse to do anything and the patient dies? I prefer the first option because I have a good understanding. The fairy tales that there is an opportunity with the Russians, well, that's Nikol's problem. If I were in his shoes, I would have been able to bring US and Russian peacekeepers and other peacekeepers. This man can't do it. If you give me a violin, I won't be able to play it because I don't know how to play the violin. Do you understand? I don't have that talent. I haven't studied and don't know anything about it. For someone else, playing the violin is not a problem at all. Politics is as weighty and serious. He doesn't understand rudimentary things. Blinken calls him, well, you are making me make these statements. I know a lot. Blinken calls him and asks, Mr. Prime Minister, what do you need? I am saying what one of the 5 persons standing next to Blinken told me. Blinken asked what Armenia needs from the United States and what red lines Armenia is ready to cede, but Pashinyan didn't say what was necessary. He asked what the United States is ready to do for us. In response, Blinken said that he represents the United States and that Pashinyan shouldn't tell the United States what to do. Now, if you wake up that person from his sleep, well, you ask me what I should do. Nikol has to say what should be done. The people are asking him what is necessary. They are calling on the telephone and stating it, specifically on April 5th. What does Armenia need? The man says Armenia doesn't need anything. It has fraternal ties with Russia. Well, in that case, the United States says if you have fraternal ties with Russia, go ahead and die.
Բաժանորդագրվեք Ազգային-Ժողովրդավարական Բևեռի YouTube-յան ալիքին։